Sonar Interactive, Twisted Tales, Red Riding Hood.
Welcome back. Choose one of the following: play or more stories.
Play.
Which character would you like to play? Red Riding Hood or Big Bad Wolf?
Red Riding Hood.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived on the edge of a forest. Her name was Amelia, but no one ever called her that. Instead, she was known as Red Riding Hood for the hooded riding cloak she always wore. This day, Red Riding Hood was very excited because she was allowed to go into the woods by herself. Her grandmother had been sick for a while, and Red's mother wanted her to take some food to the old lady in case she wasn't well enough to look after herself.
You're a good girl, Amelia.
Red, Mother. Call me Red Riding Hood.
You're a good girl, Amelia. I don't like letting you go into the woods by yourself, but I'm worried about your grandmother, and I have to look after the other children. Now promise me you'll stay on the path and not leave it for any reason.
I promise, Mother.
Good. There are rumors of a big bad wolf in the forest, and other dangers too. But if you stay on the path and go straight there and back, you'll be fine.
Yes, Mother.
Here's the basket with the food. Oh, her favourite things. Ham, cheese,
Alexa,
bread.
skip.
Please make your choice.
Eat some of the food. Take the food to Grandma.
Take the food to Grandma.
Red Riding Hood was cross with herself. Her grandma was sick and needed good food. She shouldn't have even thought of eating it herself. She picked up the basket and carried on down the path.
Hello, little girl.
Oh, you startled me.
And what's your name, my pretty one?
I can't tell you. My mother said I shouldn't talk to strangers.
And good advice that is, too. Did she tell you anything else?
She said that there was a big bad wolf living in the woods.
She's right. So it's lucky that you met me. I'm the big good wolf. And while I'm around...
Please make your choice.
Go and pick flowers. Refuse to pick flowers. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Wolf. I'm sure you mean well, but Mother said I must stick to the path, so that's what I'm going to do.
Well, if you don't want your grandma to be happy, that's your choice. I'll be on my way.
The wolf ran off down the path in the direction of Grandma's house. Red Riding Hood was uneasy, so she walked more quickly. She soon arrived at her grandmother's cottage. It looked just as she remembered. Whitewashed walls, pretty blue window frames, flowers in pots outside. But something was wrong. It was quiet. Too quiet. Where was the birdsong? Where was her grandma's happy humming as she made her jam? Red Riding Hood swallowed nervously and knocked on the door.
Come in, my dear.
That's odd.
Thought Red Riding Hood.
Grandma must have a cold. She sounds very hoarse.
When the door swung open and she stepped inside, things seemed even more odd. Grandma was wearing her usual floral dress with a frilly bonnet tied round her head. But her nose had grown surprisingly long. Her eyes were dark and fierce. Her breath smelt of meat instead of strawberries, and she had clearly forgotten to shave.
Hello, Grandma.
Hello, my dear. Do come in. Oh, a basket. Is it for me? Do let me see what's in it.
Please make your choice.
Ask Grandma about her ears. Ask Grandma about her arms. Ask Grandma about her teeth. Give Grandma the basket. Grandma, what big ears you have.
All the better to hear you with.
Please make your choice.
Ask Grandma about her arms. Ask Grandma about her teeth. Give Grandma the basket. Grandma, what big teeth you have!
All the better to eat you with. Ah!
The wolf tore off the clothes and leapt at Red Riding Hood. She only had a second to decide what to do.
Please make your choice.
Run away. Throw Pepper at the wolf.
Red Riding Hood dodged out of the way and rolled sideways. Scrabbling in the basket, she found the packet of pepper. She tore a hole in the side and threw it just as the wolf dived at her again. The wolf was no longer interested in Red Riding Hood. His eyes were streaming with tears, and he was sneezing continuously. He appeared to be choking. Then he gave the biggest sneeze of all, and Grandma flew out of his mouth. The wolf raced out the door, still crying and sneezing. Red Riding Hood stared at her grandmother, lying on the floor. She quickly wiped the wolf goo from Grandma's face. There was a very slight movement in the old lady's chest, but as Red Riding Hood watched, the movement stopped. In desperation, she picked up some of the spilled pepper and sprinkled it under Grandma's nose. There was an agonizing pause. And then her grandmother sneezed loudly and began to breathe again. Red Riding Hood breathed a huge sigh of relief. When Grandma had recovered a bit, she fed her the ham, cheese, and bread. Grandma was so grateful she didn't even complain that there was no pepper to go with it. The end.
You've completed one of the paths. What would you like to do next?